Malachi chapter 3. We'll be right there in verse 7. Malachi 3, verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob God? Yea, ye have robbed me, but ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. If I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay, I'm going to get right off the top here and tell you, I don't care about your money. It's not what I'm preaching about this morning. I know a lot of people read that particular set of scriptures and start talking about, oh, you got to give your tithes and you got to give your offerings. That's between you and God. I ain't got nothing to do with that. What I'm going to talk about this morning is how we rob God every day of what's rightfully His. And you say, well, Devo, I pay my tithes, I pay my offerings. Well, I guess you just wasn't listening, because that's not what I'm talking about. You rob God every day of what's rightfully His whenever you try to take control of your life.
Amen.
You come down here, whatever day it was, or you went somewhere else, or you fell on your knees, or you got touched by the hand of God one day, and you made a deal with God, and you gave God your life in exchange for eternal peace and happiness. So your life is rightfully His. Yet every day, we do what our flesh tells us to do. We do what our mind tells us to do. We do what our boss and our Joe Blow down the street, and the wife, and the kids, and the grandbabies, and the parents, and everything else is always in control of our lives. And we guide our whole life after what they got to say. And we rob God of what's rightfully His. We rob God of the control that He's supposed to have in our lives. What kind of thief are you today? How many times have you robbed God this morning? How many times did you rob Him yesterday when God said, hey, you need to go do this? And you said, no, I'm going to sit here on the couch and watch this ball game. Oh, it's Sunday. There's a race on, Lord. I know you want me to go to church, but I got to stay here so I don't miss the pre-race. 4 hours of people talking. Just rob it. You're already smiling. You're going to laugh today, ain't you? Just robbing God, walking around with a ski mask on, strapped, sticking God up. Every day, all day. It ain't about money. It's about your life, your heart, and your love that you're supposed to be giving every day, all day to God, yet we just constantly stealing it out of His back pocket. We bump into God at church on Sunday, we take a little bit of our heart back out of His back pocket. We bump into church, we bump into God on Bible study on Monday night. Oh, snatch a little bit more of my life out of His pocket. I won't control that much of it. Keep robbing God. It says right there in them scriptures, will He not pour the blessings out of the windows of heaven to the point that you ain't even got room for it all? But you ain't waiting on none of His blessings. You want control of your life so you can bless yourself. Well, let me tell you, you can't bless yourself. You can't do nothing in your life to lift you up high enough and put you in a position any better than what God is going to do for you if you do what you're supposed to be doing. Taught a Sunday school lesson this morning because Brother Mark wasn't feeling well. He's feeling poorly, so I taught a Sunday school lesson. If he wasn't in there, kind of goes with what I got to say here. God, I read out of Jeremiah chapter 2. I think it was chapter 2. Jeremiah 2. Talk about the potter's clay. How he had to tear it apart to make it back new because it was messed up. Every day you take a little bit, you rob a little bit of your life back from God, and then you mess it up. You mess your life up, then God has to tear you down to make you right again, and you're happy about being right again, but you're mad at God for all the stuff that happened to get you right, and He didn't have nothing to do with it. You robbed him of your life, took it back, messed it up, then he had to tear it back apart to fix it, and you mad at him. You're the kind of thief that gets caught by the cops and get mad at the cops. You rob God to get mad when you get caught, right? So you're that guy sitting in the jail cell saying, stinking cops had to have been behind that sign, he wouldn't have caught me. Well, if you hadn't been robbing stuff out of God's house, you wouldn't have been no trouble with them cops to begin with. Ain't the cops' fault, they ain't doing their job. It ain't God's fault that your life had to be torn apart. He's doing what he told you he was going to do. He said, you either do it my way, or I'm going to tear you apart and build you back the way I want you and make you do it my way. It says that throughout, especially in the Old Testament, Jack. The Old Testament will hammer you down about that. Because them people couldn't do nothing right. They really couldn't. They would get right for a little while, and then what they do? They rob God. They didn't give God what's rightfully his. They helped it to themselves, and then what ended up happening in their lives? Look at all of them. David, Lot, all of them. They didn't do what they were supposed to be doing for God, and it ended up destroying their houses, man. Not just them. Achan. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of examples, and all they were a bunch of thieves. See, because here's what happens. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens, and we should feel bad about this. We get saved, and God does a work on you. And you feel great, man. You are awesome. You walking around, walking on clouds now after you get saved. And the world just seems to brighten up, and everything for that first few days after you get saved just seems to fall right in place. And I want to tell you something. There's two aspects to that. One, God is trying to straighten your life out so it's not so bad on you the day after you get saved. Two, it's your viewpoint. You just got Jesus on Sunday. It don't matter what happens on Monday. You don't care because you just got Jesus. A few months down the road, a few years down the road, you don't like where Jesus has put you. Maybe you think you need to be in the mansion. Maybe you think you need to be driving that $230,000 car. God hasn't given it to you yet. So you're like, what am I going to do? Well, next time I see God and I bump into him, I'm going to snatch a little bit of that stuff I gave him out of my pocket and I'm going to use it myself. I'm going to go on and rob him and take back what I gave him, and then I'm going to take care of it. Go on and do it. I say go on and do it like y'all ain't doing it. We doing it every day. I do it every day. What's funny is God's like a bill collector. You don't rob God without him knowing about it. He's like the NSA, Homeland Security, the CIA, and the FBI are all rolled into one. You ain't doing nothing and getting by with it. He knows you did it. So you come along and you rob God a little bit of that stuff that you gave him however many years or weeks ago it was, and you want to run off in the woods like he ain't know you took it. And then you out here trying to work with it, and you hear the knock on the door. You open the door there, God. I want my stuff back. Say, for you people that watch that show, God says, you gave me your soul. I want my soul back, Egypt. But you don't give it to him, do you? Why? Because your life ain't got bad enough yet. You haven't destroyed it enough yet. So you say, no, God, I'm going to keep this. And when he turns around and walk away, because he will walk away. It says in the Bible, umpteen million times, he will leave us to our own destruction. So you say, no, I ain't giving this part of my soul back to you, Lord. And then he turns to walk off your porch, you reach over, you grab a little bit more of it. You wasn't happy when we were destroying this. Oh, if I just had just a little bit more, I could get things right. Then I'll get it right, and I'll get where I think I'm supposed to be, then I'll go back to God. That's the way we talk to ourselves, right? And then what happens? We tear that part of it up too. We mess that part of it up. And then eventually what ends up happening is God keeps coming back, and God keeps coming back to us, and wanting us to give ourselves back to him, and we keep saying no, and we keep reaching in his pocket. We keep reaching in his pocket and robbing him of what we gave him, until that one day we reach in his pocket and there ain't no more there. There ain't no more there. We done robbed him so much that we've got him completely out of our life. We done robbed him so much that he ain't even with us, don't we? We ain't allowing him to be with us anymore. Amen. Then what do? We go knocking on his door. Right. Take it back, God. I know it used to be clean and spotless and so pretty, and I robbed it back and I made it all marred up and dirty and filthy and it looks like a ball of oily rags. But will you take it back again and clean it up?
I can mess it up again.
You know what's great about our Father? He goes, yes, son, I'll do it.
Amen.
Yes, my child, I'll take care of that for you. Every time you go back. But it's not just as easy as running under a faucet now, is it? God don't just go, poof, you're clean again. Nah. And he shouldn't. God says, yeah, I'll take it back. I'll take care of you. And you go, thank you, Lord. Praise Jesus. And God looks at you and says, it's going to hurt. Yeah. You ain't going to like this. You see this first oily rag that you got stuck on your heart? I'm not washing it off. I'm not spraying a little bit of benzocaine on there so you don't feel that. Nah, like a piece of duct tape on a hairy leg. You're like, oh, it hurts. Give it back. And he's like, no, you don't give it to me now. I got to clean it up. And he keeps tearing and he keeps ripping all that mess that you put in your life. You know, when you first get saved, now this is from my own personal experience. I'm not saying this for anybody else in here, but if you've been through it like I have, you probably had the same type of experience. The day you get saved, all that mess that was on you, God washes off with a nice gentle little run of water. Just a little soft soap, maybe a little sponge. Then whenever you mess up the second time, nah, you getting a fire hose and a wire brush, Jack. He's trying to teach you, don't you dirty this thing up again. And he gets it all clean and pristine. He shines it up and he sticks it in his pocket. A few months go by, we ain't where we think we're supposed to be. We start robbing him again. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. We do it. We do it. Now, here's the thing that makes God so much different than me and us. There's a lot of different things, but this is one thing I'm going to point out for this particular reason. You only got to rob me once and you ain't allowed back in my house.
That's right.
I love Brother Gary to death. He comes over and visits me next week, and when he leaves, I got stuff missing. I still talk to Gary, but he ain't come back in my house. You know, unless he bringing the stuff back. And then still we're going to have a conversation. We rob God over and over again. He keeps letting us back in his house.
Yep. Amen.
At what point do you quit stealing from the one who gave you everything? That's the thing. That's the funny thing. I know people who are thieves. People who've taken stuff from me and other people that I know. And what's funny is I look at those people and I'm like, why did you take it from me? If you would just ask me, I would give you anything that I had that I could to help you. If you would just ask, I would hand it to you willingly, freely. But no, you had to go on and steal it. Now I got to take it back, and now I don't want nothing to do with you. Now you're going to have to live with the fact that you had somebody who loved you, who was willing to help take care of you. You've done them wrong to the point to where now they can't even trust you. At what point do we quit being that person to God? Because God will give us anything that we need. If we act like we got sense, do what He says we're supposed to do, and we pray, and we be a good Christian like we're supposed to do, He'll open the windows of heaven and pour the blessings out abundantly. His Word says it in numerous places, not just there. Yet He's the one that we're willing to rob. He's the one that we rob every day. I would not ever think about taking nothing off of Mark without asking him for it. Now that's not counting tools. We got kind of like an open door policy of tools. My toolbox sitting outside, his is sitting in his building. If I need a tool and he ain't home, I'm going in there and getting the tool. Same difference the other way around. Mark knows I got a wrench he needs and it's over there in the toolbox. He knows he's more than welcome to go get it. But I'm not stealing nothing off Mark Dobie.
Amen.
Why? Well, one is my brother and I love him. Two, If I need it, Mark's got it. All I got to do is knock on the door and say, Mark, can I get whatever? And even if Mark wants to be mean and say no, I just go, Tommy, can I have it? And she's going to go, yep. She's going to snatch it right out of his hand anyway. Hand it to me. That's right. Because I am loved. But no, the point is I know Mark will help me, so why do I have to rob him? I don't have to rob Mark for anything he's got. All I got to do is ask him and he'll hand it to me. You don't have to rob God of anything. All you have to do is ask.
Right.
And then act like you got some sense. It's about like when you was growing up as a young. You walk in the store with your mama and your daddy. Can I have? No. They're like, no. Knocking stuff out your hand because you keep picking stuff. Get that, set that back down, boy. Oh, it's not. But if you ever, now, I never did. Because, like, I never learned a lesson when I was a young. It took ever for me to learn a lesson when I was a young. But I had friends that would go in the store and they come out, every time they go in the store with their mom and dad, they come out with a new toy or something like that. And I was like, how do they do this? And I went to the store with them one day and I thought, well, maybe they just spoiled. Right? No. These youngins just walk with mom. They never hollered for anything. They never asked for anything. They never aggravated mom. They let mom go to every aisle she needed to go to, or even the boring stuff that no 8-year-old youngin wants to look at. And they stood there quietly and they let mom do her shopping. And then as they get ready to leave, mama would say, well, let's go by the toy section. And they'd get him a toy. I would beg from the time I wrote it. I know some of y'all don't know what Heels is, but if you're from West by God, you know what Heels is. I roll into Heels, and Heels had this little snack bar in the front of the store. I didn't even make it in the store before I was asking for some ice cream. I want some popcorn. Can I get a soda? And then we go in the store. Oh, look at them baseball cards. Hey, I need a new shirt. Now this is like 7, 8 years old. I'm doing it. My mom couldn't even shop. She'd go to the store and come back and have to go back because she couldn't get all the stuff that she really needed because I wouldn't shut my mouth. And I never got nothing. And I never understood why. When God's given us blessings, we ask for them once in prayer. And then the next time we pray, maybe we ask Him again. You don't aggravate God about something. He's going to do it in His time. You can pray about it every time you pray. Don't get me wrong. But understand that God's going to do it in His time. He's going to make sure you get what you need. And maybe, if you go in the store and act like you got some sense, when you come out, God will get you that new toy. He'll get you that thing that you need, along with maybe some of the things that you want. Have you ever went to the store with mom and come out with something she didn't pay for? That is not a good thing. That is not, and especially if you do it twice. Yeah, I did it twice. First time was on accident. Second time I thought I could get by with it. I didn't get by with it either time. Second time, actually, Mama took the thing home. And it waited for my old man to get off work. And then he took me back to the store. Never got touched. But this never stopped. The whole way to the store, the whole way in the store. I stood there for 30 minutes inside the store, let the man that was running the store talk to me, and then he talked to me all the way back. I ain't never thought twice about taking nothing since then. Somebody said, go on, take that piece of candy off my desk. No, I know it's yours, I know it's your desk. I don't want it. The Lord is willing to give to us every single day. The Lord is willing to give us more than what we need. More blessings than we even deserve. Yet what do we do every chance we get? We rob Him. We don't give Him His just due. And He don't ask for much. The Lord says, love me above everything else and follow me loyally. He doesn't use that word, but I like to use that word. Make a commitment to follow God in all His teachings. He asked for 2 things. How many things did you ask for God for last night? He asked for 2. I'm afraid to say that most of us has probably asked for more than 50 this week. And we'll probably ask for 50 different ones next week.
Right.
Pretty good trade-off. And He's willing to give you that 50. As long as you always give Him that 2 and don't take them back. But we, for some reason, think we're getting a bad deal. We'll give Him those 2, then we'll get part of the 50, then we want to take one of them back. And we don't expect God to just give us 25 because He's only got one. No, we still want the full 50.
That's right.
And then we get the second 50 and we take half of the last one. We just keep taking and taking and taking from God. And He's willing to give it, but we want to do it in the shadows. Because the one thing that He asks for is the one thing we're not willing to give. Because if you're following God's teachings, you're giving God control of your life.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that human beings, even Christians, even seasoned Christians, sometimes have a hard time giving to God. Because you see situations, and when you see them, your human brain makes a split decision on what you should do. And then what you follow through with should be thought out and processed with the helpful hand of God. But sometimes what God tells us to do is not what we thought was right. So what ends up happening is after a few choices that we make that is based on what we think God tells us to do, and it's not what we wanted, we quit letting God tell us what to do. Well, God, I really wanted to go over here to buy a car. They got nice deals on these fancy new cars. I didn't want to go over here and buy this Chevette. Then down the road, instead of getting the triple wide, you get the single wide. And then down the road, instead of getting them nice leather boots, you get that pair of canvas tennis shoes. And you're like, okay, God just wants me to be a pauper, so I'm going to quit listening to Him. And you start chasing after the stuff that you think's good for you. And you start taking back control. You start taking back and robbing God of what you gave Him so many years ago, so much time ago. And then once we've robbed God completely, then we look to Him whenever it's all messed up and expect Him to give it to us, give us more. God, I know You gave me everything in my life, and then I robbed You of the one thing that I gave You, I robbed You of it. Now that I've messed it up, I want You to give me some more to get me out of this hole that I'm in. I want You to give me some more to get me cleaned back up. I want You to give me more, God, because I'm a filthy thief that ain't no count, that took back the one thing that I gave You and I messed it up because I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know how to live a life. Not the way it's supposed to be lived, not righteously, not holy the way that You tell us to live it, Lord. No, I'm going to live it my way. And I'm going to get vile. And I'm going to get nasty. And lower than a snake's belly in a wagon rut. I'm going to get horrible. And then whenever it gets so bad, I can't stand the crushing weight of my own decisions, God, I'm going to hand it all back to You to help me again. Because poor little old me, I messed it up, and I ain't enough to fix it myself.
That's right. Amen.
And it's not bad that we ask. You know what makes us such horrible people? And I know this is usually a Mark Doby thing, making you feel horrible about yourself. I'm really sorry this morning. But it's what God's got on me. You know what makes us really horrible people? It's not a horrible thing that you've messed your life up and you ask God to fix it. That's not horrible. What makes you so horrible is the expectation that He will. We expect it out of God so much, we've even gotten to the point where some people just don't ask. Oh, I messed my life up. God will come along and fix it up sooner or later. Don't even get on your face. Don't even get some repentance out of your mouth and ask for forgiveness for the life that you just destroyed that He spent years building. How many in here ever had, and I don't know if the women, I know some women in here that was involved. You ever had you got an old square body Chevrolet, don't you? Put a lot of work in that truck. How would you feel tomorrow if I just took a sledgehammer out there and beat it to death?
Not really.
Took the hood off of it, just went to the valve covers and the heads and just, until everything started running all out of it. And then when I got done, I don't even ask for forgiveness, I just walk off and expect Gary to fix his truck. We take the life that God has built for us, and we beat it to death with a sledgehammer. And then we don't even ask for forgiveness. We just walk off and say, oh God, You'll fix it. And then we get mad when he don't fix it as fast as we want him to. Well, why are you over there fixing Sister Sherry's life? Why ain't you over here fixing mine? Well, maybe Sister Sherry been trying to live for God, got a few little things that need to be straightened out, and she's doing all she can, and you over here with a sledgehammer beating your life to death. Well, you could wait. We expect God to be Superman that swoops in and saves us from all our bad decisions. Nah. God gonna let you wallow in that for a little while. And then when He cleans it up, it's not going to be an easy, nice process. And don't get mad at Him for it, because He done cleaned you up when He saved you. You're the one that got yourself dirty again. You're the one that made it such a hard process for Him to get you clean the second time. You the one that done that, not God. Why? Because you're a filthy thief and you couldn't keep your hands out of His pockets. When we pass this collection plate around, whenever you stick money in, do you ever take it again? My dad, back in the day when I was young, and Dad would never buy enough Halloween candy. So when we start running low, kids would come up. Well, I lived in a big trailer park in West Virginia, big trailer park, a lot of youngins. People would bring their youngins there. There'd be a bunch of youngins walking around. So when we start running low on candy, there's still 40, 50 kids out there trick-or-treating. Dad would put in one, take out two. He always had enough candy, and a good variety, because you never know. He's saying, he's looking at us, he's looking at my mom, he said, Weezy, I'm out of candy. Next young comes up here, going to lose a handful. He'd stick one way down in that bag, he'd pull 2, 3 out. And Dad has some big old paws, man. He'd snatch up half your bag. When I pass the collection plate around here in the morning, do you do that? Put in your 5 and take out 10? You stick in your $1 and take out $2? Well, that's what we do to God. We say a prayer and take out 2 pieces of our life. We ask for a new job and then take away control over what we do with our mouth. Amen. What are we doing? What are we robbing? Why are we robbing God? I got saved in 2013. And I can think back on this last, be 7 years in 2 months I've been saved. 7 years. And I can think back in that 7 years of all the times that I just followed God blindly and how well that worked out. And I can reflect on all the times that I robbed God of control of my life and how badly that worked out. It's not even close. There's no, it's, the God stuff worked really, really good. The me stuff, not so much. I don't understand us. I'm not saying us, because we all do it. We all do it, and we do it constantly. Stop thieving. Stop stealing. Stop robbing. There's a lot of ways to get ahead in this world. But I choose God over lying, cheating, and stealing. Who are you robbing today? Because when you rob God, you really only rob yourself. Amen? Every head bowed and every eye closed.